Honestly, I don't feel like I have put my fingerprint on Batman himself. I've been focused much more on his relationship with each existing characters, ones that have been.
The first DC Comics solicitations for 2020 are in, and there's one change that stands out above the rest. A new Batman creative team takes the reins from Tom King for the first time since June 2016. A sweet taste of relief for many Batman readers fed up with King's direction the past 15 months or so. New Batman writer James Tynion IV was the frontman on Detective Comics when DC Rebirth launched over 3 years ago. Since he completed his run in May 2018, he's co-writing Justice League with Scott Snyder, successfully relaunched Justice League Dark, including Wonder Woman crossover event The Witching Hour, and completed his Batman TMNT trilogy in exhilarating fashion. He's also writing the Year of the Villain Hell Arisen series, closing out DC's current line-wide event. The smart money wasn't on Tynion when DC announced they were shutting King's Batman run down 20 issues early, letting him complete his story in the upcoming Batman Catwoman event series with artist Clayman. Most believe DC would turn to Tom Taylor, currently a hot property at DC with his deceased story, Michael Bendis, or another big name to help stabilize Batman sales and satiate dissatisfied readers. Although I won't be shocked if business is given Batman starting issue 100 or when DC's 5G initiative kicks in after DC's summer 2020 crisis event. While I personally wasn't fond of Tynion's Detective Comics run, it focused far too much on interpersonal conflict within the Bat family for my taste. He's clearly a huge fan of the character and a pretty damn good writer to boot. Tynion's recent conclusion to his Batman TMNT trilogy series is one of the best stories DC produced in 2019. He's also drawing rave reviews for his Boom Studios horror series, Something is Killing the Children. By all accounts, James Tynion is on top of his writing game right here, right now. There might not be a better time for him to take his crack at DC's flagship series. One thing's for certain, he's not Tom King, and that's a change that needed to happen sooner rather than later. DC is only releasing 3 #1 issues in January 2020, a massive change from previous months. DC seemingly were digging into Marvel's bag of tricks, releasing massive amounts of #1s to finish off 2019. And 2 of DC's 2020 #1 issues are actually worth talking about. Brian Azzarello's Birds of Prey series has taken a few detours since being announced as an ongoing title to help promote the upcoming Harley Quinn film vehicle. I imagine Warner Brothers brass were none too happy with the tone of Azzarello's plans for this series, and now it's being released as a $10, 96-page one-shot via Black Label. All the changes regarding the book's release has me legitimately curious. I'm probably not going to buy this because it's so expensive, but I'm actually very tempted now. The other one-shot of note has dumpster fire written all over it. Brian Michael Bendis is assembling all the creators currently tanking the Superman line, Matt Fraction, Jody Houser, and Greg Rucka, into Superman Heroes. DC's calling them a dream team of writers. I guess nightmares technically are dreams. The $6 48-page one-shot will explore what the identity of Clark Kent meant to those closest to him and what their relationship to Superman will be in the future, following Clark Kent revealing his secret identity again. Game changers are normally new ideas, but the bar is admittedly low for Bendis and his creative inability these days. One thing DC isn't cutting back on in 2020 is Batman comics. There are 17 new releases fronted by the Dark Knight and associated characters. New creators James Tynion and artist Tony Daniel are bringing Slade Wilson back into the fold after the recent conclusion of Priest's Deathstroke series. I'll be buying 2 issues of Batman, expecting them to be good for the first time in what seems like forever. Detective Comics Annual Number 3 sounds interesting for a couple reasons. First, artist Sumit Kumar is joining Peter J. Tomasi on the story. If you're not familiar with Kumar, you soon will be. He's one of the very best, if not the best, up-and-coming art talents in the entire industry. Extremely excited to see him earn this opportunity. DC would be very smart to lock him into an exclusive deal. Second, it's dealing with the after effects of one of the dumbest Tom King decisions during Batman, which is saying something because there were a lot. Killing off Alfred. I'm buying this comic. I want to see how Tomasi handles it. DC is only releasing 2 Harley Quinn comics in January, the aforementioned Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy number 5. I imagine they're going to bombard February with all the Harley readers can handle to coincide with Harley's Birds of Prey film vehicle. Readers who pick up all 17 Batman-related comics will be at a whopping $76. If you only buy the comics led by the Gotham Knight himself, it costs $43. Superman fans can expect a much more manageable 6 titles led by the Man of Steel and related characters. The main Superman title deals with the day after Clark reveals his identity to the world. Action Comics somehow sounds much worse for readers. Lex Luthor, the Legion of Doom, and Leviathan, I can't believe this isn't Dying with the Event book, battle Superman in the streets of Metropolis. Artists John Romita Jr. and Klaus Janson illustrate the issue, and if you read the recent Batman 81 or the Superman Year 1 series, that's not a good thing. At least for me, it's not. I'm not going to talk about the solicit info for Jimmy Olsen because it sounds as stupid as the cover looks, but my goodness, Matt Fraction can go back to sex criminals anytime he likes. He doesn't belong anywhere near DC or Marvel Comics. Robert Venditti's upcoming story in the Superman Giant series can't get here fast enough. Fans of Big Blue only need to part with $26 to collect the A covers for all 6 Superman-related comics. Scott Snyder says farewell to Justice League on issue 39. The JL find themselves stranded on the far side of the galaxy in the wake of the Justice Doom War. The Solicits states Snyder winds down all the things he started in issue number 1 and nods toward everything that comes next in the DC universe. Readers should get a glimpse at events leading to DC's Summer Crisis event that Snyder himself is heavily rumored to lead. James Tynion concludes his Witching War story arc in Justice League Dark. I actually fell off this series a bit ago, but I can vouch the visuals from Alvaro Martinez Bueno and Raul Fernandez are some of the best DC Comics have to offer. Jessica Cruz and the new JLO square off with new villain Cyborg in Dan Abnett's Justice League Odyssey. Justice League readers shell out $12 in total. The most watered-down product on the comic market, known to most readers as DC Black Label, releases 14 new comics to start 2020. Jeff Lemire's Question miniseries is releasing in the newly minted Prestige Plus format for $7. Basically the same format as Batman Damned and Superman Year 1, but it has a new name now. Lemire's a great writer, and The Question, The Deaths of Vic Sage, has my name written all over it. Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman Curse of the White Knight is currently the best Batman title available, for my money. That's a must-buy, and I'm still on the fence with The Last God. Joe Hill's Hill House Horror pop-up line releases 4 new comics for $16. Neil Gaiman's Sandman Universe also has 4 new offerings for $16, while Gerard Way's Young Animal line only drops 2 new comics for $8, including the conclusion to Doom Patrol: The Weight of the World, which wasn't promoted as a miniseries, but still wraps things up after just 7 issues. If you enjoy Young Animal, I respect that, but I would prefer DC jettison Gerard Way and his comic line into a black hole or back to Dark Horse Comics where they belong. Black Label completionists will shell out 67 big ones in January. DC Comics' Year the Villain limps into 2020 with only 4 associated comics, which is a smart move if you ask me. Year the Villain has been a huge miss. I personally dropped virtually all my DC ongoings, including titles like Hawkman, Detective Comics, Batman and the Outsiders, and Teen Titans, because I got fed up with the tie-ins. Apex Predator Lex Luthor hunts down the Batman Who Laughs in James Tynion's Year the Villain Hell Arisen number 2. I'm not gonna lie, I'm rooting for Lex here. The sooner Scott Snyder's 5th grade fanfic character, the Batman Who Lolls, exits the DC Comics universe, the better. Despite a damn good miniseries featuring the character, it's done far more harm than good for DC. Dark Knight's Metal, and everything associated with the dark multiverse that followed it, should have been Elseworlds in my opinion. Joshua Williamson's Batman Superman continues the hunt for the Secret Six. There are no Year the Villain one-shots or tie-ins to speak of, but Robert Venditti continues being weighed down by the event without end in Hawkman number 20. It still breaks my heart they diverted one of the 2 or 3 best comics in the industry for this drivel. Infected Kara faces off with Wonder Woman in Supergirl number 38. Year the Villain enthusiasts need only pay $17. Not much to speak of in the way of January specials at DC Comics. They're celebrating Wonder Woman 750 with a lineup featuring some of the most boring writers in the industry, many of which aren't even associated with the character's historic run. Vita Ayala, Marguerite Bennett, Cami Garcia, Dean Hale, Shannon Hale, Jeff Loveness, Steve Orlando, Greg Rucka, Gail Simone, and Mariko Tamaki round out the creative lineup. I see no George Perez involvement, therefore I'm not even going to bother with this. The Milestone comic will set back excited fans $10. Scott Lobdell and Brett Booth continue trying to undo one of Tom King's most heinous creative decisions, turning Wally West into a serial killer. I've heard it's good, but the wounds are still too fresh for me. Grant Morrison wraps up his 3-issue intermission series Green Lantern Black Stars before he and regular artist Liam Sharp begin the Green Lantern Season 2, likely with a newly minted number 1 issue despite continuing the same story with the same creative team. I smell Bendis here, and I don't like it. DC is offering a facsimile edition of Detective Comics 359. Gardner Fox and John Broome introduced readers to Batgirl for the first time. Barbara Gordon is a key figure in Batman and DC Comics lore, and I will eagerly buy this facsimile reprint. For those who haven't bought any, I can attest the print quality of DC's facsimile reprints are phenomenal and better than virtually all new comics DC and Marvel print these days. January's DC Dollar comics include The Brave and the Bold 197, featuring the Earth 2 wedding of Batman and Catwoman. Harley Quinn's first comic story in Batman Adventures number 12. Batman Huntress Cry for Blood, which I'll skip. They also reprint Black Canary's intro in Detective Comics 554. DC's classic reprints cost a total of $8, not including their Giants lineup. In addition to buying Batman 86 and 87, Detective Comics Annual number 3, The Question number 2, Curse of the White Knight, and the 4 classic reprints, I plan on purchasing the conclusion to Robert Venditti's fantastic maxi series Freedom Fighters. Also, while I'm not planning on buying it, I did want to mention Kyle Higgins and Aaron Lopresti are making guest appearances on Aquaman 56. Unfortunately, it's not a permanent change, but Aquaman starving for a Kelly Sue Free new Aquaman comic do have an opportunity in January. My personal DC pulls will run me $36 in total. Not bad at all. That's likely much less than I'll be spending on X-Men comics alone. DC's January solicits bring a tremendous amount of excitement as DC finally delivers us from Tom King, with a new Batman creative team. I can't understate what a welcome change this is, in my opinion. But it's not all puppy dogs and ice cream. The next DC crisis looms over the horizon, and I'm not excited in the least. It's being ushered in by Year the Villain, which I personally loathe. And that's going to be followed by 5G, an even worse idea. So I'm not jumping into any new DC ongoings until after 5G. They're all going to be meaningless and rebooted within a year anyway. I was planning on trying out Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad, but there's no need now. But I will most definitely be up to read Elseworlds or Out of Continuity mini and maxi series moving forward. DC better hope rumors of Sean Gordon Murphy leaving soon are bumpkiss. His White Knight universe is one of the very few exciting things they're offering at the moment. Thanks for joining me, and I should have my Marvel Solicitations vid up tomorrow around the same time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.